There are countries that are just a small dot on the world map, but occupy a large space in the hearts of those who have ever set foot there. Latvia, a peaceful land on the Baltic coast, is a place where you can start your morning in the middle of a wild forest and end your day with a gentle sunset on the ancient roofs of a medieval city. Here, nature is not noisy but full of life. History is not far away but permeates every street. And the people, although quiet, but contain a harmonious symphony between tradition and modernity. If you love poetic journeys, love rustic but profound beauty, then Latvia is probably the place for you. Join me on this emotional discovery, and if you also feel your heart flutter like me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue accompanying you on upcoming trips. And you, what does Latvia evoke in you? A sense of peace? A distant memory? Or just curious? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate every share and look forward to hearing your story. Latvia, a quiet green gem in northeastern Europe, is one of 3 Baltic countries, bordering Estonia, Lithuania, Russia, Belarus, and the Baltic Sea. With an area of about 64,500 square kilometers, Latvia is not large, but it has an incredibly majestic natural space. Nearly 60% of Latvia's territory is covered by forests, making it one of the greenest countries in Europe. The forests in Latvia are not just trees, they are a living world where nature remains wild, quiet, and mysterious. You can walk for hours in the forest without meeting a single person. There is only the sound of wind, birds, and your own footsteps echoing on the rotting leaves. Crystal clear lakes appear in the middle of the forest, like mirrors reflecting the sky. If you are lucky, you may see a deer walking leisurely across the trail, a red fox quietly lurking among the trees, or even wolf tracks in the early morning snow. Summer in Latvia is a gift. The sun sets very late, often nearing midnight. You can sit on the banks of the Gauja River, a river that winds through the lush green valley, and watch the last light of the long day flow gently like a song. And winter. Snow covers the forest, turning Latvia into a Nordic fairytale world, where time seems to stand still in the gentle cold days. Riga, the beautiful capital city on the Daugava River, is not only the political and economic center, but also the cultural, historical, and artistic heart of Latvia. This is where the past and present blend together in every brick and street, creating a city that is both ancient and strangely youthful. Riga is famous for having the largest collection of Art Nouveau architecture in Europe. The buildings here are not simply places to live, but works of art. Curved facades, elaborate decorative motifs, stone statues hidden between balconies and domes. All make you feel like you are stepping into a classic movie, where each house tells a story. But Riga doesn't live on memories. The city is moving forward with a modern, creative, and inspiring vitality. The old streets are lined with quaint cafes, contemporary art galleries, colorful flea markets, and creative spaces for young people. You might see a street artist painting a mural, a band playing an outdoor concert, or an art exhibition in the middle of the square. Riga is not just beautiful to look at, it's alive to feel, to be part of. Latvia's history is a long and difficult one to read. Every page is marked by invasions, occupations, and oppression. From Germany, Sweden, Russia to the Soviet Union, each force has taken turns to dominate this small land. But one thing has never been subdued: national identity. Latvians did not choose the path of armed rebellion. They chose to sing. Throughout the 20th century, when freedom was stifled, folk songs still resounded in the fields, in village festivals, and gradually, in peaceful protests. They organized singing festivals, where hundreds of thousands of people sang together, not for entertainment, but to affirm, "We are still here. We are not silent." The world calls them a nation that fights with music, not because they are weak, but because they believe in the power of unity, culture, and values that cannot be taken away. Latvia won back its independence not with guns and bullets, but with melodies filled with the will to live and unshakable faith. If you find this video interesting, leave a number 1 in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to wait for the next videos. Latvians do not just live on the land, they live with it. They believe that nature is not something outside of life, but is part of the national soul. No matter how fast modern life is, the bond between people and tradition, between the hustle and bustle of life and the heartbeat of the trees, has never been severed. One of the clearest proofs of this is the Jaani festival, a traditional festival celebrating the summer solstice, which takes place at the end of June. As the longest day and shortest night of the year approach, the whole country of Latvia seems to be in harmony with nature. During the festival, people wear wreaths of wildflowers on their heads, wear national costumes, sing ancient songs together by the flickering campfire, and stay up all night to wait for the first light of the new day like a sacred ritual. Jaani is not only an occasion to celebrate summer, but also a way for Latvians to remind each other of their roots. It is a whisper: we are part of the earth, of the forest, of the sun, and of summer. No need for noise, no need for ostentation, just a wreath, a song, and a heart turned to nature are enough to clearly see the identity of a nation living in harmony with the earth and sky. Latvian cuisine is unpretentious, yet it is steeped in history and the spirit of the land. It is a harmonious blend of long-standing rural traditions and subtle influences from neighboring cultures such as Germany, Russia, and the other Baltic states. Latvians love simple ingredients: barley, potatoes, smoked meats, wild mushrooms, and fish caught from the Baltic Sea. From these seemingly simple things, they create rich and authentic dishes like pea soup with bacon, pickled herring, or the distinctive black bread with its own unique flavor. But the most special thing about Latvian cuisine is not the food, but the way they eat. No rush, no fuss. Meals are a bonding ritual, where people pause to really listen to each other and to themselves. Each meal is a thread connecting the past with the present, where family memories, old stories, and quiet love come together in the smell of smoke from the kitchen, and the salty taste of the distant sea. Latvians can be a little confusing at first. They are not talkative, not enthusiastic, and do not try to impress. But if you listen patiently and observe, you will gradually feel a special depth, sincerity, calmness, and admirable independence. They are people who live close to nature, love simplicity, and find joy in small things: a walk in the woods, a cup of hot tea by a rainy window, or a folk concert in the countryside. Latvians believe in the power of education, of art, and above all, in the cultural heritage left by their ancestors. They do not boast but preserve each value with quiet appreciation. They let you feel it. Not in words, but in the way they live, steadfast, humble, and full of inner strength. And that is what makes Latvian people so quiet yet profound. Latvian women are the embodiment of natural strength and beauty, but they do not stop there. They are silent warriors, preserving traditional values while striving in the modern world. With their steadfast and self-possessed demeanor, they shine in every field from art, education to business. Their confidence and independence make them not only an inspiration to their families, but also a strong, aspirational role model in today's society. Today, Latvia is quietly establishing itself as one of Europe's fastest-growing tech nations. Despite its quietness, Latvia has captured the world's attention with its bold moves in the tech industry. Its blazingly fast internet and thriving startups are testament to the creativity and ambition of a passionate young generation. Latvia's youth are constantly innovating, building their own future with the perfect blend of freedom and creativity. They don't follow trends, but instead create new trends, contributing significantly to the innovation of the global tech industry. From AI startups to fintech platforms, Latvia is becoming a bright spot in the international innovation community. Although still less prominent than the tech giants, Latvia is making a strong mark on the world map with a quiet but sure style. Thank you for joining me in the lush green forests of Latvia, strolling the ancient streets of Riga, and listening to the proud songs of a small but strong nation. If you want to continue the journey of discovering unique destinations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your feelings in the comments below. Let's continue this journey together because the world is big and interesting stories are still waiting for us. India is a country in South Asia, on the Indian Peninsula. Surrounded by the Arabian Sea to the west, the Bay of Bengal to the east, and the Indian Ocean to the south, India borders China, Nepal, and Bhutan to the north, and Pakistan to the west. This strategic location gives India a wide variety of climates and landscapes, from the majestic Himalayan mountain ranges in the north to the beaches and tropics in the south. In terms of population, India is the second most populous country in the world, after China, with approximately 1.42 billion people, 2023 estimate. India's population is ethnically, religiously, and linguistically diverse. The country has more than 2,000 languages, with Hindi and English being the official languages. India's population is not only large but also growing rapidly, with a high proportion of children and youth, creating a large workforce and potential for future growth. However, uneven development also creates dark spots in Indian society. Slums in India appear right in the heart of lavish cities, where skyscrapers and bustling commercial centers. Alongside that prosperity is a cruel reality that few people know about. The rickety shacks, built from cheap materials such as wood, corrugated iron and canvas, are located close together, creating a cramped and deprived living space. Garbage is everywhere, not only causing pollution but also creating favorable conditions for diseases and epidemics to spread in the community. Every day, millions of people living in these slums struggle to find the most basic needs, such as clean water and sanitation. Clean water becomes a precious commodity, forcing people to queue for hours at public water stations. Meanwhile, not far away, luxurious villas where the wealthy live have private swimming pools, lush gardens and abundant water sources. This creates a clear divide between rich and poor, making the gap between social classes wider and wider. Slum life is not only deprived of material things, but also faces problems of security, health and opportunity. Many people live in poverty, lack access to health and education services, and are left behind in the overall development of society. This highlights social injustice and discrimination in a country as rich in potential but also full of challenges like India. Millions of people in India still face injustice and discrimination due to the rigid caste system, part of the feudal society that India has maintained for centuries. Those belonging to the lowest castes, especially Dalits, also known as outcasts, are not only denied basic rights such as access to education, health care or employment, but also suffer exploitation and social contempt. They are forced into menial jobs, with no opportunity for personal development or change in their fate. Meanwhile, the upper castes in society continue to maintain privilege and power, creating a very clear gap between rich and poor in power. Despite legal reforms, such as the prohibition of discrimination and measures to support disadvantaged groups, in practice, caste discrimination remains strong, especially in rural areas. This discriminatory mindset not only affects the present life, but also hinders the development opportunities of future generations. Families born into the lower classes do not have the opportunity to have a full education and good jobs. This perpetuates poverty and exploitation, making them feel like they have no way out. In addition, teachings about the fate and responsibilities of each caste are passed down through the generations, further reinforcing the old ideology and emphasizing that each person must accept his or her place in society. This ideology perpetuates injustice across generations, and attempts to change the system are met with great difficulty. All this creates a vicious cycle, causing inequality to persist, hindering India's development and social progress. If you find this video interesting and discover many interesting things, please subscribe to the channel and leave number 1 below this comment section to let me know. Corruption is one of the serious problems in India, affecting all sectors of society, especially essential public services such as health, education, and infrastructure. The public sector is dominated by greedy people, officials who are willing to embezzle money from the state budget, leading to serious shortages in public services. One of the most affected sectors is health care. Public hospitals, despite having a large number of patients, lack equipment, medical supplies, and staff. Public health facilities are not capable of serving the basic health care needs of the people, leaving patients lying around waiting for treatment. Meanwhile, the health budget has been cut, not enough to improve the situation. This reality further highlights the gap between rich and poor in Indian society. The rich can easily bribe officials and pay bribes to enjoy special privileges, from access to better health services to speedy administrative procedures. Meanwhile, the poor, without money and power, have to accept a life full of injustice. They cannot access basic health services and have to live in poor health without government help. This injustice not only causes pain to the poor, but also makes people's trust in the public system increasingly decline. Violence and crime are serious problems in India's slums, where law and order are non-existent. Criminal gangs control each area, exerting power and dominance over the community. Slum dwellers face intimidation and coercion from these gangs, forcing them to pay protection money in order to live in peace. Those who do not comply or are unable to pay face dire consequences, from threats to beatings to even losing their homes. These scenes make life in the slums even more insecure and risky. Not only adults but children in these slums also suffer a miserable life. They are exploited as laborers in factories, markets, and even in dangerous jobs, without any legal protection and no safe working conditions. Many children are forced to drop out of school at a very young age to make a living, working all day in harsh conditions without any opportunity for advancement. Their lives become a vicious cycle of poverty, deprivation, and despair. As a result, these children have no chance of escaping poverty, and their futures are often locked into the same life as their parents. This creates a cycle of crime and violence that is difficult to escape, making slums places without hope and justice. Serious social and environmental problems, no matter how hidden or ignored, eventually cannot remain in the dark. When information about pollution, injustice, or other pressing issues becomes public and widespread, the community cannot sit idly by. The wave of anger and dissatisfaction from the people is rising, making these issues the main topics in the media and public forums. Protests, debates, and protests are becoming stronger, creating a common voice demanding change and reform. Pressure from society will force responsible leaders and organizations to recognize and address these issues. It is the participation of the community that creates great pressure, motivating action from the authorities. Although the road to change may be arduous and long, when society unites and persistently fights for the common good, positive reforms will gradually appear. We need to continue to speak up, advocate, and spread change, to create a more just and sustainable world for all. To not miss important information and stories of social change, don't forget to click subscribe today. Join us to follow the latest articles on social issues, the environment, and the movements. We look forward to receiving your comments and sharing. Leave your comments below this article so we can discuss and find positive solutions together.